What if you could move through the world untouched? Not because the world is gentle, but because your mind is impenetrable. What if no insult could trigger you? No chaos could shake you? No setback could break you? What would life look like if fear, doubt, and anger no longer had a voice? If rejection, failure, criticism, none of it could reach the core of who you are, because the goal isn't a life without adversity. The goal is to become someone adversity cannot disturb. Someone whose strength isn't loud, but still calm, centered, unbothered, unfazed, unbreakable. Understand this clearly. Fear is not your enemy. Anger is not your enemy. Life will throw fire at you, let it. The enemy is reaction. Weakness is letting the world pull your strings like a puppet. Every time you flinch, every time you lash out, every time you spiral, the world didn't win. Your lack of discipline did. But that ends now. This isn't a motivational speech. This is a recalibration, a shift in how you think, act, and carry yourself. Your power doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from not needing to. The moment you stop giving external chaos internal control, everything changes. People lose power over you. Problems shrink. Your mind becomes razor sharp, steady, silent, lethal. And that silence, that stillness, it speaks louder than any reaction ever could. Because when you stop responding to noise, you don't just protect your energy, you dominate with it. So breathe deep, center yourself, and step into the transformation. From this moment forward, the world no longer decides how you feel. You do. We were taught that if we work hard enough, plan well enough, think long enough, we can control everything. But that belief, as comforting as it is a lie. Life is chaos. People shift. Circumstances collapse. The ground changes beneath you. And the tighter you try to grip control, the quicker it slips through your fingers. This illusion is why most people live anxious. They try to manage every outcome, every conversation, every emotion. They obsess over what might happen, what they should have said, what someone else is thinking. But here's the truth. The more you try to control what you can't, the more you lose control over what you can yourself. You own only two things in this life, your actions and your attitude. Everything else, your job, your relationships, your reputation, even your plans, belongs to forces beyond your reach. Trying to control it all is yelling at the wind. It drains you, frustrates you, breaks you. So you must learn detachment, not apathy, not surrender, but calm awareness. The ability to observe without grabbing, to let go of what. You can't shape and master what you can. Your mindset, your habits, your response. Most people are so reactive they don't even realize they're controlled. One comment ruins their day. One inconvenience sends them spiraling. One rejection makes them question their worth. That's not strength, that's slavery. You're not free if your peace can be stolen by another person's opinion. But there is another path, the path of internal mastery. You stop asking, how do I control the world? And start asking, how do I command myself? And then you discover something rare, stillness. A calm center in the middle of the storm. A power that doesn't come from force, but from indifference to chaos. Control is not domination. Control is freedom from needing domination. You let people be who they are, and you remain who you are. Life moves, shifts, storms, but you stay rooted. You stop managing every emotion, every reaction, every outcome. Instead, you become unshakable, because the strongest man in the room isn't the one who speaks the loudest. It's the one who doesn't need to speak at all. The one whose silence says, I am not moved. I am not rattled. I am not afraid. That is the power we're building. And it begins by killing the illusion that you need to control anything except yourself. Let the world do what it will. You stay still. Most people live in a state of constant reaction. They don't respond to life. They react to it like a pinball. They're tossed around by every word, every situation, every glance, every piece of bad news. Someone cuts them off in traffic. Anger. A text goes unanswered. Anxiety. A post online. Instant judgment. And with each reaction, they lose a little more power, a little more control, a little more of themselves. Reactivity is the death of personal power. Why? Because when you're reactive, you're not deciding. You're being controlled. You're not living from intention. You're living from impulse. Your emotions dictate your behavior. Your environment dictates your peace, and the result, you become fragile, easily triggered, easily thrown off course. You live at the mercy of everything around you. Think about how much time you've wasted because of reactivity. How many hours you've spent replaying a conversation in your mind, stewing over something that didn't even matter a day later. How many goals have been delayed because you were emotionally drained by drama that had nothing to do with your mission? How many mornings you lost to a restless night caused by something someone said online? The cost is immense, not just in time, but in focus, in energy, and clarity. There's a simple but brutal truth. If your peace can be disturbed by external noise, your peace was never real. What separates the exceptional from the average isn't talent. It's emotional discipline, the ability to feel but not flinch, to notice but not overreact, to hurt but not collapse. You don't become unshakable by avoiding adversity. You become unshakable by choosing stillness when adversity shows up. And here's something even more important. Every time you react emotionally, you are reinforcing a loop in your brain, a habit, a neural pathway that says, when this happens, I lose control. And if you don't disrupt that pattern, it becomes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as calm and focused, and you start believing you're just emotional, just sensitive, just someone who can't help it. But you can help it. You can rewire your mind. You can train yourself to pause, to breathe, to observe without attaching, and it starts with awareness. Realizing that your first impulse is not your truth. It's a program, a default. But you are not your default. You are the driver, and the moment you claim that role, everything begins to change. Start small. When you feel yourself triggered, pause. Don't post, don't reply, don't react. Just notice. Let the emotion pass through you like a wave. Let it rise and let it fall. You don't need to suppress it. You don't need to indulge it. You just need to witness it without letting it dictate your next move. And this is not weakness. This is mastery. Because anyone can explode. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can overreact. That takes no strength at all. But the man who can feel everything and still remain composed, that man is powerful. That person is rare. In a world addicted to outrage and validation, he becomes a fortress of calm. And that calm is magnetic. People feel it. They sense it. They respect it. Not because it's a performance, not because it's a facade. It's real. Earned through relentless self-discipline, the kind that says, I will not give away my power just because life tried to provoke me. Decide today your peace is non-negotiable, not because life will be peaceful, but because you will be. Your power isn't in controlling others. It's in refusing to let others control you. Next time chaos knocks, don't invite it in. Observe it. Learn from it. Rise above it. While the world reacts, you remain. Control your emotions, or your emotions will control your life. This isn't just ancient Stoic wisdom dusted off in books. This is the reality that separates winners from losers, leaders from followers, the powerful from the powerless. Emotional control isn't pretending you don't feel. It's ensuring that what you feel doesn't own you. Most people are ruled by emotional reflexes, anger, fear, anxiety, jealousy. They act on feelings instantly, speak words they regret, make decisions that derail them. They sabotage relationships, delay their progress, abandon their path, all because emotions dictated the moment. But the strongest, the ones you admire, they don't react. They respond. They've trained their minds to create space between feeling and action, and in that space, they make powerful choices. Understand this, emotions are information, not orders. They tell you what's happening inside, but they do not steer your ship. You decide how to act. When? Decisions come from clarity, not chaos. You move differently. You speak with precision. You act with calm. You rise even as the world tries to pull you down. Think of a firefighter walking into a burning building. Fear? Absolutely. But do they let fear control them? No. Their training has taught to them this. Emotion without control is dangerous not just for you, but for everyone around you. Apply that to your life. Every time anger controls your words, fear controls your steps, or insecurity controls your decisions, you're lighting fires where there should be progress. Here's the hard truth. Most suffering doesn't come from the situation. It comes from how you react to it. Someone cuts you off in traffic. It lasts 5 seconds. But if you replay it in your head for hours, whose fault is that? The emotion was real. The suffering was a choice. You must master detachment not from people, not from goals, but from the need to emotionally react to everything. The strongest mindset doesn't avoid feeling. It feels deeply but doesn't crumble under the weight. Think of a warrior in battle. Chaos all around, noise, fire, confusion. But he moves with intention, with calm. He knows the mission. He doesn't let emotion consume clarity. That is what you must become, a warrior of discipline, calm in chaos, focused in adversity, unmoved by noise. And here's something else. Emotional control makes you magnetic. In a world of people constantly reacting, lashing out, blaming, complaining, the calm, composed, grounded person stands out. They command respect without demanding it. Their presence speaks louder than anyone's anger ever could. How do you build this control? You practice. Put yourself in situations that test you. Train yourself not to flinch. When insulted, pause before reacting. When fear rises, breathe before acting. When pressure builds, focus before speaking. It's not easy at first. Your nervous system is wired for reaction, but repetition rewires your brain. Eventually, you become the person others turn to when everything falls apart, because when everyone else loses their heads, you keep yours. Remember this. Emotional strength is not loud. It doesn't scream. It doesn't need to prove itself. True power is quiet. It is presence without panic. It is composure without suppression. It is knowing that no matter what happens, you own yourself. And when you own your emotions, you own your world. The next time fear knocks, the next time anxiety whispers, the next time anger tries to take the wheel, pause, breathe. Remind yourself, I am not what I feel. I am what I choose. Indifference isn't apathy. It's not carelessness, and it's certainly not weakness. True indifference, trained detachment, is self-mastery. It means you care deeply about your mission, your values, your growth, but you do not let external chaos, criticism, or emotion dictate your behavior. It is discipline at the highest level. Most people live at the mercy of others. One comment ruins their day. One glance of disapproval sends them spiraling. One failure becomes their identity. The rare few, the unshakable ones, they've trained themselves to be emotionally independent. Their peace is non-negotiable. If you want to become fearless, you must develop this skill, the ability to not flinch when the world tests you, the ability to remain focused when you are ignored, rejected, or misunderstood, the ability to move forward without external validation. Indifference doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't react. It means you care more about your purpose than. The habit of volunteering unsolicited advice to others who have not requested it can make one an intolerable bore. Free advice usually is considered to be worth just what it costs, which is nothing but the patience with which to listen to it. Fights. Composure does. Your life is your arena. People will provoke you. Setbacks will sting. Life will push you around. If you take it personally, you lose. But if you train yourself to observe without attachment, hear without absorbing, feel without flinching, you become untouchable, controlled. Detachment lets you keep moving when others freeze. It gives you the distance to make decisions based on truth, not triggered emotion. It keeps your energy clean, because when you stop reacting to every little thing, you stop leaking your power. How to train this? Identify your emotional triggers. What pulls you off course? What steals your focus? Write them down. Expose yourself to them deliberately. Practice the pause. When a trigger arises, pause, breathe, count to 5. Ask, does this deserve my energy? Is this part of the mission or a distraction? Rewire your brain through repetition. That pause turns reactivity into response. Silence is strength. Not everything requires a reaction. Sometimes the strongest move is to say nothing, observe, and stay the course. Chaos is inevitable. People are unpredictable. Life throws punches when you least expect them. You cannot stop the storm, but you can become the kind of person who doesn't flinch in the rain, the kind who doesn't collapse when everything falls apart, the kind who remains centered when the ground shakes. This is mental warfare. Distractions are endless. Fear is constant. Overstimulation is a daily enemy. You must train your mind to be still, focused, and unshakable. No one is born this way. It is forged like physical strength through consistent, targeted repetition under pressure. Step 1, separate stimulus from response. Most people react automatically. Someone criticizes them, they lash out. Plans fall. Apart, they panic. Power begins the moment you insert space between what happens and how you choose to respond. That space is your superpower. In that space, you breathe, you think, you remember who you are. You act with purpose. The reactive man is a slave to emotions, environment, and chaos. The centered man is free. Train the space. Pause when triggered. Name the emotion without judgment. This is frustration. This is anger. This is fear. Become the observer, not the reactor. Develop a daily grounding practice. Meditation, breathing, journaling, cold exposure, physical stillness. Simulate chaos. Train under stress. Create tension and practice remaining centered. Eliminate drama. Cut it from your language, your stories, your self-talk. Stop inflating problems. Speak with precision, calm, and clarity. The storm is not the problem. Your reaction is. If you remain calm in chaos, you win before the game begins. Calm is not weakness. Calm is control. Calm is clarity. Calm is the edge most will never have because they are ruled by panic, noise, and distraction. Become the eye of the storm, still in vision, still in values, still in mission. Daily, pause, breathe, ground yourself. Remind, I do not serve the chaos, I serve the mission. Let others panic, let others spiral. You move forward, quiet, clear, focused. This mindset builds empires. It destroys fear, because fear thrives in chaos and starves in calm. Being unbothered doesn't mean emotionless. It means mastering your emotions so they don't master you. You still feel, you still care, but you don't let every thought, opinion, or disruption hijack your peace. Most people are emotional puppets pulled by every external string. The unbothered person breaks the cycle. Emotions are messengers, not masters. Observe them, name them, choose your response. Awareness is the first step. You cannot control what you do not recognize. Catch yourself in real time. Anger, defensiveness, anxiety. Ask, what is really happening here? Most triggers aren't the issue. It's the story your mind tells about them. Someone cuts you, off in traffic. Your ego screams disrespect. Your body flares. Reality, it's just a car. The meaning you assign, that's where chaos begins. The unbothered detach from the narrative. They see things as they are, not as emotions paint them. They're not cold, they're wise. Overreacting drains energy, burns bridges, and destroys clarity. They refuse to give that power away. This is the rare, unstoppable mindset, the one that commands life rather than reacts to it, the one that moves through chaos, unshaken, unwavering, and that is true power.